So, you're planning that epic European adventure for 2026. Awesome. But yeah, there's that one little hurdle, the Schengen visa. It can feel like this impossible puzzle, right? Well, don't sweat it. Think of this as your personal guide, your roadmap to getting that visa stamped, no problem.
Okay, first things first, let's get real about the numbers. About 15% of applications get turned down. Now, I'm not telling you this to freak you out. It's just to show why we've got to be smart about this. A careful, follow-the-rules approach is your golden ticket, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Make sure your application is rock solid.
So what exactly is a Schengen visa anyway? Honestly, it's pretty much a travel superpower. It's this one single visa that opens the door to 27 European countries. Think about it, France, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, the whole lot. You apply just once and bam, you can wander across most of Europe like there are no borders.
All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, the biggest decision you have to make. Then, getting all your documents perfectly lined up. We'll talk timelines, what traps to avoid, and then you're on your way to Europe. Okay, let's dive into our first section. And seriously, if you tune out for everything else, please listen to this part. Deciding which embassy to apply to is where so many people get tripped up. It's confusing, and if you get it wrong, it's pretty much an instant no.
So let's put this into a real-world scenario, shall we? You've got this amazing trip planned. You're hitting France, Italy, and Switzerland. Now, you might be tempted to just pick the embassy that has the next available appointment, or maybe the one closest to your house. Nope, can't do that. There are hard and fast rules. So what's the right answer here? And here are the rules straight up. It's a strict order of priority, not a pick-what-you-like situation. Rule number 1 is the main destination rule. You have to apply to the country where you'll spend the most days. So, in our little example, if you're in France for 8 days, Italy for 5, and Switzerland for 3, you apply to France. End of story. The only time you look at rule number 2, the first point of entry rule, is if you're spending the exact same number of days in multiple countries.
Okay, awesome. So now we know where to apply. That brings us to our next big chapter, what to apply with. We're going to build your application file, and we're going to make it so good that the visa officer has 0 questions.
First up, the photos. And I know it sounds silly, but people get this wrong all the time. The rules are super specific. We're talking 35 by 45 millimeters, a plain white or light gray background, and it has to be recent, within the last 6 months. And your expression? Totally neutral. No big smiles, mouth closed. Oh, and no glasses unless you absolutely need them for medical reasons.
And it gets even more detailed. Look at this. The actual size of your head in the photo, from your chin to the top of your hair, has to be within this tiny little range, 32 to 36 millimeters. I'm not kidding. This isn't them being picky for fun. If it's wrong, your application can get held up for something so simple.
Okay, next, travel insurance. Let me be crystal clear here. This is an absolute deal breaker. No insurance, no visa. It's an automatic rejection. You need coverage for at least 30,000 euros. And, this is the important part, it has to be valid in all Schengen countries for your entire trip, not just the first country you land in, all of them.
Now, this next one is huge, and this advice comes directly from the embassies themselves. Listen closely. Do not buy your plane tickets. I'm going to say it again. Do not buy your plane tickets before you have that visa in your hand. All you need is a flight reservation or an itinerary. It's just to show your plans. This saves you from losing a ton of money if things don't go as planned.
All right, let's talk about money, specifically proving you have enough for your trip. Here's what you need to know. The visa officer isn't just looking at the final number in your bank account. In fact, a huge chunk of money appearing out of nowhere right before you apply, that's a massive red flag for them. What they really want to see is stability. You need to show them your bank statements for the last 3 to 6 months so they can see a regular, steady flow of income. It's all about showing that your financial situation is credible and makes sense for the trip you're planning.
Okay, so you've picked the right embassy, you've got your document pile ready to go. So what's next? Now we get into the nitty-gritty logistics, booking that appointment, paying the fees, and the big question, how long is this whole thing going to take?
And here's a little heads up for anyone applying in 2026. Mark your calendars for June 11th, because that's when the fees are going up. For adults, it's jumping from 80 to 90 euros. For kids, it's a little bump from 40 to 45. It's not a huge amount, but hey, if you can apply before that date, why not save a little cash, right? Now let's talk about the waiting game. Officially, the rulebook says it takes about 15 days. But let's be real. In the real world, it's all over the place. Some countries like Germany can be super quick. We're talking 5 to 10 days sometimes. But if you're applying for, say, France or Italy right in the middle of summer, you can be looking at a wait of up to 8 weeks. So the moral of the story is apply early.
All right, let's talk about the thing that probably worries you the most: rejection. In this section, we're going to face that fear head-on. We'll break down the biggest reasons why applications get denied, and I'll show you exactly how to sidestep those common traps.
Just take a look at this. The reasons for rejection aren't some big mystery. A few simple mistakes make up almost all of them. Almost a third are because of messed up insurance, and another quarter from applying to the wrong country, the very first thing we covered. The good news is, these are so easy to avoid.
So when you boil it all down, everything in your application, every single piece of paper, is trying to answer one single, all-important question in the visa officer's mind. Is this person going to go home after their trip? That's it. Proving your intent to return is the heart and soul of successful application.
So how do you actually prove that? You do it by showing them all the things that tie you to your home country. Got a steady job? Get a letter from your boss saying your vacation is approved. Do you own property or have a lease? Show them the paperwork. Are you married or have kids? Include those certificates. You're essentially building a case to show them, look at this life I have here. Of course I'm coming back.
Phew! We have covered a ton of information, but now it's time to put it all together. We'll do one final check, and then we can stop thinking about the paperwork and start thinking about the amazing adventure that's waiting for you.
Okay, before you hit that submit button, let's do a super quick final check. You with me? 1. Did you apply to the right country? 2. Is your insurance good for at least 30,000 euros? 3. You submitted a flight reservation, not a paid ticket, right? 4. Is your financial proof looking steady and believable? And the big one, 5, have you made it crystal clear you have every reason to come back home? If you can say yes to all of that, you're in great shape.
There you have it. That's the roadmap. You now have everything you need to get through the Schengen visa process. The paperwork part is just a small step. The really fun part, the big question, is where you're going to go first. Paris? Rome? The Alps? The adventure is officially yours for the taking.